What you first notice about this car is the front is very large. It almost strikes you as similar proportions to like one of their SUVs. Like if you put it up on lifts, you could think it was an SUV. Love the new LEDs they've done in here. Looks really, really good as they turn off. Isn't that always how it goes? Love the piece of metal for like a luxury car, which is what this is going for. It's a really nice effect. These rims are also really, really neat. They're like not black, but they have that darker effect. And they look really cool. I mean, that's always subjective. I think they look, you know, nice enough for a car of this class. Like, love the arches there. The design of this car is probably one of my favorite things. I don't know if this color shows it best. One thing I will say about having a car this color and this color is people almost hit into you, because I think when they first look in the mirror and stuff, your car is almost the same color as like pavement, so you kind of blend in. And so if you don't have your lights on or whatever, they might miss you, or you know, they can only see part of your car. Anyway, color aside, let me show you the rest of this guy. No pano roof is like one small critique. There's one other one we'll talk about in the drive review, but that's kind of a minor quip, especially for the price of this car, which fully maxed out, this is $35,000. Let's check out the lights back here. They are very cool. All right, coming around to these LEDs back here. It's got a nice little pattern in there. It says Mazda 6. I do think my secondary critique would be, I think the back is attractive, but it's kind of generic looking. I don't know. I mean, I think the CX-9 and Mazda 3 and Miata have more like design language that from far away, debadge, it could be like, hands down, this is a Mazda. But if you debadge this, honestly, I'm not 100% sure. As if, you know, if I had never seen it before, I would say, oh yeah, for sure it's a Mazda. A small critique for an otherwise very, you know, attractive car. I do like the dual tip exhaust back here. The sun is not cooperating with me today. Let's check out the trunk space while we're back here. It is super dirty. I've had it for, this was a 2-week loan, so this is kind of week 2. I wanted to drive it a lot and, you know, give my opinion of it. Pretty deep trunk down there. It goes, the seats do fold down. It's very high, actually. And, yeah, I would have thought the Bose subwoofer was up there. So, I don't know where it is. There definitely is one, because the bass is really good on this car, as most Bose systems are. I thought it would be in the tire like Mazda's doing in some SUVs and stuff. I spare that, which is nice. Large, you know, very large trunk with seats that fold down, as you'd expect. There is definitely a nice rake. It's almost hatchback-like. Tesla did the same thing. I almost don't know why you just wouldn't make these cars hatchbacks. It would give so much more practicality. Let's check out that engine. I think it's interesting, the fuel door, you have to pop it down here. I popped both the trunk and almost the hood by accident when I was just trying to go for the fuel door there. This does seem to take 87, which is nice with this turbocharged engine. Didn't know if I'd have to put like 93 in it or something like that. Gosh, this grill is just huge for a sedan. I think it looks nice though. It's not like some other Japanese companies where everything's just so exaggerated. Stick here, I'm gonna go put in G technology on there. Can't see much of the engine. It is covered, unfortunately, but thought I'd show it to you anyway. You can kind of sneak a little peek back there. But good power numbers. It's really quick, as we'll talk more about in the drive review. And it's kind of set far back there, which is, you know, nice for handling and dynamics and things like that as well. Speaking of practicality, let's check these back seats. 2 6-feet people definitely would fit. It is huge. And let's start talking about that luxury. Look at this. I mean, the white leather would be a nightmare if it was actually your car that didn't get detailed every week or so to keep clean. But man, it smells really nice when you get in. It's really pretty. This is a trend a lot of people are doing. I'm not sure how I like it. I think it looks cool, and they've designed it in such a way it won't actually, you won't hit this hard plastic. Little vents back there. And then like, oh, that's cool. I was wondering why there were no heated seats. They put the heated seat button in here along with the cup holders and a little console. Check that out. It's got 2 USBs in there. That is pretty cool. More of that effect. Nice map pockets. It's a very nice place to spend time. This, as a bug attacks it, this car, you know, more of that stitch. And this almost has like an Alcantara-y feel to it. It's very, very nice. Let's check out the front. Getting in the front, here you get some wood. I'm not sure if it's real wood or not. It looks, you know, pretty nice. So it looks, you know, definitely upscale and more high-end than you might think. I do like the vent design. Another little critique, this vent here, it's kind of nicely, very elegant how it's set back and down and everything. But when you're trying to put the climate control up and like towards you, it pretty much it kind of gets stuck in here. So you're very reliant upon this vent over here. A small thing, but an easy fix for Mazda. Just pull this vent forward a bit more, push the trim back. The leather stitching up there, more of this soft material here. But yeah, and to the point of the interior, and the car came like this. I did not do this to the car, by the way. Well, this might be new from the week or so. I've had a lot of people driving it and stuff to check it out. But yeah, it's a pretty nice car. I just went personally, with the white interior, you'd need to have a cloth with you, or just be sure you, you know, kept on at all times. Mazda 6, get the Mazda logo there. It says Mazda 6 there, lest you forget what you're driving. So this is probably my favorite part of the car. These gauges, very traditional, very bright, very easy to read. This seems redundant. It's almost like they didn't plan to have this digital gauge here, and so to save some money, they took this off another car that doesn't have that. That shows you the speed limit. Apparently, my driveway has a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. Never knew that. I'm sure it thinks we're on the road and whatnot. So, you know, tack over there, very bright, very easy to read. Not for my camera though. But anyway, this is cool, this trip computer. So it shows all your safety systems, when your service is due. This was practically a brand new car. It had like about less than 1,000 miles, I think, when I got it or so. But this is cool. So this is all digital. You can't really tell, even in person, and definitely not in the video. And then of course, it's not just the middle part that's digital, which I thought was cool. It's all of it, as are these gauges. So I thought this was a clever way. Then there's a nice big digital screen up here. Not a touch screen, but there's a very intuitive, very smart knob up there. Some storage down here, which stores napkins apparently. More of this, you know, soft material here. Nice leather there. This cup holder, you can close it and open it and slide it as you like, which is nice. Console's kind of small. There's the SD card slot. That's for the Now system. This one does CarPlay and Android Auto, which I'll have a separate video on, you know, talking about. It's a good system. Again, more of these nice luxurious seats. The leather is very soft, especially on the steering wheel here. This leather is just like buttery soft. Up here, you know, pretty standard stuff. Sunglass holder, that white LED night, it's very nice. It shines down kind of and illuminates this area here. More of the wood trim, and you know, more of just nice overall interior. Very comfortable seats as well, which on a car like this, you know, the mileage is important, and the mileage was awesome. 26 was kind of my average, driving quite spiritedly, and then 30 was what I was getting really on the highway when I wasn't pushing it, and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. This is probably my favorite view of that, but it doesn't really give you much information. I do like how they put your range as a number right next to your fuel there. I thought that was very clever, and things like that. And then I like your MPG gauge over there. That blue tick is kind of where you dual zone climate control. I really like this long dash that they did. It's very Audi-esque, very Tesla-esque. I feel like it's the future of kind of cars, to give this look and feel of very expansive, long, and then if you look here, it almost seems to flow all the way over to the doors. That's kind of a cool design choice that they did make. Of course, a frameless mirror, as well as you'd expect in this car, and then this is for all the driver assist, which we'll talk about in the driver review. It's a pretty good system. So I think the very best part of this car might be the price point. And this one fully loaded out. It's got the Bose system with a subwoofer somewhere I can't find, but it's got it. You know, surround sound. It's got cooled seats, which is neat. I thought heated steering wheel, and it's about $35,000. You heard right. I need to double check that, because that sounds way too good to be true. This is a lot of car for 35 grand. Let's make sure that's 35, 100, and then with destination and this machine gray paint, it's 36.5. That is absolutely nuts that you get all this. This is the signature trim for that. Like, that's the deal of the century. So can you imagine used in a few years? These will be like 20 grand if you're, you know, 35's outside of your budget. You get a reliable, very luxurious, very nice car for that kind of money.
35 would get you like loaded Hyundai Elantras are in the 30s. You know, a lot of smaller cars, I've seen Civics in the mid 30s. So the fact you can get this, the big Mazda, in the mid 30s is a great deal. I know Mazda's talked about upping their price. Well, let's get out on the road and talk about the drive review. Get it in reverse here. So, safety first. So, driving it for the week, it is, I'm gonna wait till the sun, you know, sorts itself out. It's way too bright to be talking, which should be when I complete this turn. So the one area this is not a traditional Mazda, and I'm kind of sad about that. I was actually planning to, you know, take this on the normal curvy back roads I have, was the steering. There's a sport mode or a sport button that makes the steering a little tighter and the transmission better. But if you're used to like a CX3, even a CX-9, but a Mazda 3 or a Miata, this steering is very loose. That's before you get any action, even in sport mode. So yeah, if you're looking for the traditional sporty Mazda steering, this is not it. This is clearly geared to be more of a luxury car. Outside of that, the turbocharged engine in this thing is absolutely great. I'm a huge fan of that engine. You know, 4,000 RPM, it's just like walls of torque. I can't really even get it higher than that, or I'm going speeds, you know, where I'll definitely be in jail. The handling it's very comfortable ride, very flat suspension, very good brakes as well. They're very grippy, but they have a very linear feel, so you can drive the car like in a luxurious, relaxed way. So I like that. Like I said, the seats are comfortable. Like I said, it's just an all-around good luxury car for $35,000, and it's neat that you can now get a luxury car from Mazda, which, you know, a few years ago, you wouldn't have looked to Mazda if you wanted something, you know, super luxurious, super nice, everything like that. So good job to Mazda on that. If I was in the market for a big sedan, yeah, I would buy this with my own money, because I don't think there's many other big sedans where you can get them pretty loaded out with this nice of an interior, you know, and pretty good reliability for Mazda for like 35 grand. It just doesn't really, or 36 grand with destination. It just doesn't really exist. Love this turbocharged engine. You do get a little torque steer, but overall, it's the extra power you get from it is just awesome. Well, next time, my speedy racers, drive on.